The Close Weekly podcast gives you the most actionable real estate advice you can use today. And in Season 2, we're focusing on how you can succeed in 2022's low inventory market. Now, here's your host, the man who has been a top producing agent for over 25 years, Sean Modry.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's guests are Eliot Tomaszewski and Kayla Laos with Zoodealio. Zoodealio helps you navigate the difficult world of working with iBuyers. Now, before we get started, I want to talk to you about Elevate by Elm Street Technologies. Elevate is our season sponsor, and it is more than just a CRM. With social media posts, IDX website, and easy-to-use lead generation, Elevate provides everything you need to capture and convert more leads. Elevate even offers a time-saving CMA wizard, which lets you create and share CMAs in just minutes. Interested in trying Elevate yourself? Then check out tryelevate.com. That's tryelevate.com and schedule your free demo today. Now let's hear from Eliot and Kayla and learn how we can generate more listings by working with iBuyers. Good morning, Close Weekly. It's Sean Modry again. And once again, we are back with an outstanding podcast. And I don't know if you know this, but in the real estate industry right now in America, institutional investors, iBuyers, own 600,000 homes. And if you're in some of those markets where these iBuyers are buying, you're competing with these buyers every day. And we know that it's challenging out there to get listings, especially if you're going up against companies like Opendoor, Orchard. You know, we've got all kinds of these companies out there buying properties. Now the Zillow's out, but they're still out there. And so we want to give you some tools to help you become an iBuyer too and help you win some listings. I want to introduce you to Eliot Tomaszewski and Kayla Laos with Zoodealio. Hey guys, how are you?
Well,
hi, Sean.
Kayla Laos.
Yes.
Laos. So
Laos?
Anyway,
Is it Hawaiian?
Yeah. No, it's awesome. That's what it is.
It's
Awesome.
I think Kayla in Hawaiian means money. So I have the money name.
Wow.
Yeah.
The money
There you go.
name.
That's
Well,
what we get to do. We get to give agents direct access to money solutions so they can always stay at the helm and either way win the business. That's the goal, right?
that's right. Well, before we get into that, share a little bit about both of your backgrounds, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much. And, hey, I've just been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby for, for a long time. And I started selling real estate when I was really young, 22 years old, learned the ins and outs of it and just got addicted to it. I say real estate is life. And my husband and I were selling together. We built a brokerage. Market, did amazing. Market crashed. We had to pivot. We went into REO. I've sold thousands of homes. I started a brokerage, recruited hundreds of agents, helped them build amazing businesses. And during the process of having the brokerage and operating the brokerage, we met Eliot.
Yeah.
And Eliot, he had shared with us kind of a secret that he uncovered in the marketplace. And that was at the beginning of the Opendoor and the OfferPad days. So what Eliot discovered is that home sellers, they wanted to get offers from all of these buyers. They wanted to see what the Opendoor offer was. They wanted to see what the OfferPad offer was. And so what they were doing is they were going and getting the offers and they were bringing them to the seller's kitchen table. And they were saying, hey, here are all your cash offers. Do any of them work for you? If not, would you like us to list your home on the open market? And so what we all kind of decided was this was amazing. Like this gave us a really cool opportunity to meet sellers where they're at, deliver on an instant cash offer. And we thought if we could bring this digital, if we could bring this online, wouldn't that be cool?
Super cool.
So we did. And the process has been arduous and long and costly and riddled with a really interesting intellectual property lawsuit from one of the big iBuyers, believe it or not. But throughout it all, what it has really done is solidified our mission, and that is to empower real estate agents across America to compete with these iBuyers. And we have strategies that are proven that can help you get more listings.
Yep.
Oh man, I love that. So you really are here for the agent. You're here to support them, make them look good, and help them out.
Built by agents for agents.
100%.
It's literally our in-office mantra. I say it daily.
I love that.
So that's a little about me. I'll turn it over to you, Elliot, for a quick intro.
Yeah, I'll give a quick flyby. I don't think I've been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby, but so long enough that I felt like I used to look young. Now I look a little older, but it is what it is. Sean, I was we met back in a coaching program way back when I was obviously direct producing. I've been pretty spoiled in that fashion too, where I've been part of a lot of different cool sales systems to where we did a lot of business in the short sale world. Kayla, she said that she had a lot of REO experience. I've owned a brokerage, had dozens of agents working for me at a time, running teams. The piece that was on this, I think that's so important, rather than personal accolades and whatnot, I think is understanding actually where these come from, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think Sean, you and I have even talked about this before. It's when you can lead with a hook of a cash offer, which is becoming the industry as the best thing that we've ever seen to get home sellers to raise their hand and say, state interest, that they're looking for that. And then next to what you could list a house for on the open market is huge, right? And the data right now that's behind a little bit of that is roughly only about 5% of these offers are accepted by, you had mentioned Orchard, Opendoors, or the Sundays I know that are big there. Only about 5% are accepted. Yes, I think that there's a lot of anticipation that that's growing and going to continue to grow. I believe that that's going to be the case. But when you compare it directly next to what you could list and sell the house for in the offer dashboard that we have created, it very clearly gives that home seller the different home selling options in a side-by-side comparison. And the data on that is about half of those people go on to list their house within 6 months. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at that from an agent lead source, quality lead source standpoint, it's the best we've ever seen literally in the industry. So it's really, really compelling stuff. And, I think the thing that it does make Zoodealio stand out so much more than any of its competitors is it's not just the cash offer. There's now different strategies to, such as a sell and lease back or the cash offer plus, right? These are different instruments and value propositions that the agent's clients can only get through that agent. So it is a golden goose unique selling proposition, right? And then when the agent can couple that unique selling proposition next to what they could sell the house for, either way, they're getting the business, right? That's the beauty of it.
Well, let me ask you, why would a seller, any seller out there not want to put their house on the MLS? Like, why wouldn't they just, why wouldn't they put it on the market where they're going to get the most offers?
You take it.
Well, what we know is that everybody is looking for that Amazon experience. Yeah. Push a button, magic happens. And if you look at the analog process which we still do real estate in, you realize that there leaves a lot left to be desired when it comes to a digital, quick, easy, convenient experience. And so the reason sellers are saying, hey, I'll take the cash offer. And in some circumstances, there was a really robust study done by 1000 Watt, very reputable data company in the real estate space. 1000 Watt uncovered that 77% of sellers would be willing to give up 5 to 11% of their equity for the non-traditional, AKA iBuyer offer home sale. Mm-hmm. So sellers are willing to give up some equity in order to have a very convenient, quick, easy process. So they
you know what I think about when I think about that is I think about trading in a car, right? Like, I have never traded in a car for many years. I just sell it myself. I put it on Craigslist. I deal with the crazy people. But, Facebook Marketplace kind of ruined it for me, right? Because Facebook Marketplace, you get all the weirdos, you get weird messages, you get people that don't show up. And the last time I bought a car from a dealership, I looked outside in the parking lot of my dirty Suburban, with 260,000 miles on it because I've sold so many houses out of that thing. And I said, I don't want to drive it home.
Yep.
Take it. And they gave me nothing for it.
Well, you were okay with it.
I was happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a house is our greatest asset, right? So I don't think people are willing to give up those types of ratios. Did you know, Sean, that when we had kind of done a lot of the market research around a lot of this, and one of the things that I found, a few years ago that just was shocking to me, was the comparison of this growing trend next to, they use the car industry as, from that, and over 80% of all used cars, slightly used cars are now traded in. And it's actually, again, it continues to grow.
Wait, and can we just like stop for a moment for those of us that are, of our age?
Yeah.
When the reality is it used to be so much harder to sell your car on your own. You had to make an appointment with the auto trader. You would like meet them in a parking lot. The photographer would show up and take photos of your car, and it was like
in a magazine.
Laborious.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But more people did that than they do now.
Yep.
Right. Huh. And so, you look at the ease of use, I find that to be also fascinating.
Well, and people just want to go get a new car. They just trade it in.
Yeah.
That's what's done. And and not to go off on a tangent. But when you can finance 105%, right? They've created limiting pain points. And I would imagine in this industry, we're going to continue to see these conglomerates continue to adapt and thrive.
Well, I think about like the rapid growth of equity plays into that because, right, yes. Easy come, easy go, right? Yes. If I made 10% in the past year, it's easier for me to give up 10% for convenience.
Said it.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so the Zoodealio, I know you have multiple products.
Yes.
The interesting product that, for this group today, because we're talking about getting listings is really kind of the iBuyer piece. So who is buying the properties? Like, I think that's confusing to us. Like, who are these people?
Sure. So really interesting, when you look at the institutional buyers, and 60 Minutes just did a piece on institutional buyers that aired on Sunday. So it was a really, really interesting segment that they did and very spot on. So you look at a lot of these institutional buyers, and a lot of them are backed by Wall Street, right? So they're private equity company, they're hedge funds, they're real estate investment trusts, and they're actually, many of them, publicly traded companies.
Yep.
And so what they're finding is that they can go out and they can purchase these homes, they can turn them into long-term hold single-family rentals, and the single-family rental is outperforming the multi-family rental. And so what we're seeing is the shift, even the retail iBuyers that we look at, like the Orchards, the Opendoors, the OfferPads, the Sundays, those retail iBuyers are farming about 20% of all of the homes that they're acquiring direct from consumer to these other institutional buyers that are also backed by Wall Street. So that's who these buyers are. We talk a lot about the institutionalization of real estate and what that is looking like and how that is affecting, home ownership. And it is, there's no doubt it is. But if I am a realtor, which I am, what I'm doing is I'm looking at this trend and I'm saying, how can I use this trend to serve and support my clients? How can I use this trend to grow my business? And so I think that if you're listening to this and if you're looking for a tangible way to grow your listing business, this is it. This is the only way. You're not going to be able to put up a squeeze page that says, hey, fill out this form and I'll give you your home's value.
Right.
That's no longer a proposition that sellers are gravitating towards. Sellers are savvy.
Right.
Sellers can look up the value of their own home on Redfin, on Zillow, on multiple sources. And so if you really look at what they're wanting, what do they want? They want to know what the cash offer is. They want to know what these other home selling solutions are. There are many products in the marketplace right now that just make buying and selling a home easy. And so they want to know what they are. And with Zoodealio, you get access to all of the home selling solutions and cash offers in your market. We're currently working across the entire U.S., so chances are from where you're listening, we're going to be able to serve you. So if you're curious what those look like and what they are, obviously we'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yes.
But, and the reality is you don't need us to do this. You can go partner with local investors.
Yep.
You can work with the retail iBuyers. You can use these strategies just like Elliot was before we created Zoodealio, and you can have success in your business.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because, I've had multiple conversations with you guys and I've used your product and, I had prior gone out and still do it occasionally is I'll have a listing that they want to entertain an off-market offer. Right. And so I put it out to my local investor list, and I always call them the bottom feeders. No offense to you, bottom feeders, but that's what I call you, right? The wholesalers, and they're just trying to make a buck right in between. And I'll put it out to them. And what I find is a lot of times they'll really hit you on a low number, and or they'll they'll back out, right? They'll make you an offer that's pretty good, but then they don't necessarily follow all the way through. And so you end up having to backtrack to get multiple offers. So one of the unique things I think about Zoodealio, right, that from my experience is that you put it in one time and you get multiple offers, not just, because otherwise you have to go to your investor and then you have to go to Opendoor and then you're going through your checklist, right?
Or you're back to the drawing board.
It almost becomes a full-time job to identify and research and partner with all of these different buyers and all of these different programs. And so if you're in real estate, it just becomes another job for you as a realtor to do all of this. And so when you partner with us, we've kind of taken that workload off of your plate and we're doing all of that heavy lifting for you. And so you're absolutely right, Sean. So you submit an address. If your home has cash offers available, you will get the cash offers. We have something called a cash offer plus, which is a cash offer with all of the upside of the open market. So if the home sells for more on the open market, guess what? Your seller's getting all of that back. We have another program, it's called our Sell and Stay, that allows you to get a cash offer and lease your home back flexible month by month for up to 12 months, and we can even extend that if needed. So we have all of these cool offers and offerings that are coming to the table, and they're able to get all of these digitally. So it's just really cool.
Due to Amazon, due to Netflix, everything more digital, being able to simply display these offers is creating consumer confidence, which is what is wildly important. And I think the piece, again, that's so important about this whole built by agents for agents is when, like the Cash Offer Plus and any of the products that are going to be resold, we hire the agent to list and resell that house for us. Right. So that's the huge piece around this whole thing. Right. That's what makes Zoodealio so unique is we are in partnership with those local agents. And and that, Sean. So yes, sometimes when we buy the hedge fund or buy with the hedge fund, they're going to hold that house for 7 to 10 years. So obviously there's no need to list and resell that house. In that circumstance, it's just hey, the agent is compensated. They are paid a commission. And there's a lot of strength in that. However, with the Cash Offer Plus, what makes it so unique is you're the one that's listing that property, right? So if you're following the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right, that's 2 buyers that you're going to get off of that listing. And of course, those are yours. Not to mention, we're going to pay you the commission for selling that house. So it gives them that certainty, that convenience of cash now, while still giving them the best cost, right? That's that 3 C's that I was talking about before around, a lot of the consumer psyche that study that's been done around this, right? Is that consumers today are looking for the best of convenience, certainty, and cost. And when you can supply on all 3 of those, it's really, really huge.
One of the things that I think of that I think is a really important point that made me think about the scenarios that I've been through is when you're working with a seller and you bring them a cash offer from a local investor, even if you put it out to maybe 5 or 6 investors, you might get 1 or 2 offers, right? Because some of them are just not interested in the property. And with only 1 offer, your consumer thinks, this is fishy, right? Am I being taken advantage of? Is somebody working the angle? But when you have multiple offers from different sources and you're able to say, hey, look, here's an independent investor. This is what they're willing to pay. Here's an institutional investor that's going to buy and hold it and keep it for 10 years. This is what they're willing to pay. Here's a institutional flipper. Here's what they're willing to pay. So you're able to structure different deals that way, show them different deals, and then that transparency builds a little bit of trust.
It absolutely does. And that's the other huge piece that we built within the dashboard is those agents that are local investors that want to buy houses themselves, or they are, working with a good reputable investor. They can, take the offer dashboard, input the offer inside that for that investor and make it to the homeowner, still displaying it digitally, giving that Amazon experience, right? Which is what part of the beauty is that in this whole digital world is the homeowner is almost gives them that DIY piece to where they have a button, accept this offer. They click it, boom, it starts the process. And so that's again, that's just the really cool power. They can also click to start the listing process, and it allows, it triggers the agent to put everything, in a place and, really get the listing rolling. Right. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff.
Wow. That's amazing. So in this market, let's take a step back. And since you both are very experienced real estate agents, and if you're a real estate agent right now competing in this market, right, you're in this market with low inventory, lots of buyers, no houses on the market. Like I was searching for a buyer for mine this morning, and she wants a 4-bed, 2-bath in the Denver metro area under 450,000, and there's zero.
Literally zero. That's not happening. Yeah.
Wrong market.
It's a tough market, right?
So, but here's the thing: there are homes that are 4-bed, 2-baths that do sell under 450. There's just currently none on the market right now. So, if you're an agent in this market, what maybe 2 or 3 things would you do today to get a listing?
So, I'm a big believer right now. A couple things. So, let me help solve the enigma of what you just gave right there. The first thing I would do in that circumstance is, we have a program that we supply, and there's ones out there where you can turn the buyer's offer to cash, right? And the only way that she's going to compete when those come in is she's got to come in hard with cash, close in 10 days, and then of course be able to perform quickly. Yeah. Right. I think having those types of resources are huge. And the other thing I think that, is best, most buyers, a lot of times, there's a study right now that says 60% of sellers are also going to buy a house, right? So a lot of times when you can lead with the buy hook in that circumstance, they're going to need to sell a house as well, right? So there's that particular strategy. But I think one of the biggest things that I've become such an advocate for what we create is when you lead with I can give you a cash offer, I can give you a sell and lease back. You're changing the way the consumers process what's available to them, right? Which allows them to raise their hand. Then you can, articulate your value proposition inside that, while meanwhile creating a relationship. And again, next to what you could sell your house, list and sell the house for on the open market, right? Yeah. When you create possibility, they choose in.
So you're going to differentiate yourself. You're going to have a different message than everybody else. And I do know a few agents that have that messaging, right? They're marketing their messaging. And I'll tell you what, they're top producers. Like they're closing hundreds of transactions a year. And I think the perception is to an agent that's not closing hundreds of deals a year is, when I make a lot of money, I'll do that too.
Sure. Well,
but what we're saying is you don't have to.
You don't have to.
And I'll tell you what I would do if I was a brand new agent and I was just starting out. Clearly, I wouldn't have a big database of people. I wouldn't have a past sphere of clients that I've already served and supported. And so what I would do is I would get on Instagram and I would commit to making one reel every day. And I would make, I'd make 75% of them probably about myself, my family, my life, my hobbies, my interests, things that are very personal to me, just to try and connect with people on a really visceral level. And then about a quarter of the reels I would make towards my program. So I would make reels about my cash offers. I would make reels about, the Become a Cash Buyer program that Elliot was just talking about. I would make reels about how they could request cash offers on my website. And I would educate them as to how they could use me in the current market. And I would do that. And I would just double down on that strategy. And within 30 to 60 days, I would probably be getting thousands of video views on each of my reels. I would be growing my Instagram reach. And before I know it, I'd be getting DMs saying, hey, come list me. And it's happening. We have a great story. I just pulled one of our Zoodealio members. Her name is Alyssa on our coaching call, and she shared her story. It's exactly what happened to her. She just started putting out content. She started sharing how she could get cash offers, and she got a DM from someone that followed her saying, hey, I know you have cash offers. I'm interested in getting a cash offer. I know this market is red hot, but don't really want to go through with the pain and the hassle of selling my home. Yeah. And it worked for her. Great story. So that's exactly what I would be doing right now if I just started out in real estate.
I love that.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Yeah, I get it. I had a listing went active this last weekend, and in 3 days I had 47 showings. 3 days. And
Your
the poor
seller.
seller, I
That
felt so
revolving
bad.
door. Yes.
I said,
Well,
I'm going to just rent you a hotel somewhere for a couple nights because there's just no chance, no chance to do anything at home for 3 days. So to avoid that pain is it's worth something, right?
It absolutely is.
Absolutely. Well, I also think that it's like Elliot had mentioned earlier, most sellers don't accept the cash offer. They list on the open market.
Right.
And so it's just such a great strategy. You can hook them in with an insane value proposition. And if it works for them, great. If not, great. You get the listing.
Right. If somebody wants to get involved, I'm assuming there's a little bit of a learning curve to this, right? Like you're not just going to, go to your website and do this overnight, right? What does the learning curve look like? And what's the process to get started working with you?
So, I mean, the learning curve, we've done everything, around tutorial videos. There's training on a weekly basis that Kayla does, I do within the community. And that is because this is a new value proposition, right? This is a new way of doing things. I think, however, with that said, one of the biggest things that we focus on in Zoodealio is Zoodealio not taking over your business, is that you inserting Zoodealio into your business, right? Because what you're doing is working. Yet when you take these value propositions and then infuse them into your business, it inspires conversations. And so the biggest thing that you need to do, of course, is just have a basic understanding of, how the site works, lead with the cash offer. And then once you get the cash offer, one of the best ways to ride a bike is to jump on it and start pedaling, right? We have support team that helps you, navigate through the offer, being able to talk to your client with you, those types of things, if that's what needs to happen. We have explainer videos around marketing. We have marketing material that we supply to the agent on a, virtually on a, weekly basis around these value propositions. We have done everything we possibly can at this point within our power to remove any friction for the agent, right? We really want to give them a business in a website kind of thing where there's strategies around email campaigns, text campaigns, scripts for callers, follow-up campaigns, how to work hot leads, how to convert, the lead in general. The biggest thing to understand in this is what I said earlier, is it's not the initial offer. It's that, offer request or that engagement of the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time. That's how you win the war in this circumstance. A lot of times people are curious that first offer request, right? Yeah. And then it's by you keeping your value proposition on them. And, they're watching the market and they're kind of saying, oh, wow, I can get this for my house. Well, honey, let's start thinking about moving. Okay, let's identify a property. Wow, I've really found houses in this neighborhood. 60 days have gone by. All of a sudden, well, now what can I get for my house? Oh my gosh, we can get another 25,000. Now it's hey, kick the tires, light the fires. Let's move in this circumstance. And by you, the agent, keeping your value proposition in front of them, you take a not met to a met lead. And that's where it's important for us to run our business as a business in this circumstance, keeping our value propositions in front of them. And so what we have done at Zoodealio is we have given you everything to be able to keep your value proposition, in front of them. Whatever CRM you work with, whatever, it is that you work with, we are infused into your business. Our goal is to not take over your business. So
I think there's a question that we missed. I missed something that's probably really important, or probably burning in the ears of the agents, is if the seller takes the offer from Zoodealio, does the agent get paid?
Oh, of course. Yes.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yes, they get paid.
How does that work?
Well, they get a commission. It ranges anywhere from 2 to 6%. Okay. And it's always disclosed to the agent straight away. So they'll get the offer that comes through. They'll be able to see what their compensation is on that offer. Also, they have the ability to go in there and add their own compensation. So some agents have a set fee that they work with, and maybe they always charge a set fee. They're able to go in there and change that if they would like. And the agent remains at full control. They push those offers to the sellers, so they're always informed every step of the way. And it's also a listing retention tool. So in many of the circumstances, if it's a property that's going to be relisted on the open market, that agent will also get that listing. So it's wonderful, a very wonderful tool.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, we got to touch on that. I think that's everything. Did we cover everything?
We covered a lot. We covered a lot today, Sean.
We did. That was amazing. If somebody wants to get in touch with you guys and get started with this program, what do they do?
They go to Zoodealio.com. They do get a white labeled site that is branded to them, their picture, their logo, their broker's logo, their contact information, right? All of those pieces that are to them. By the way, all the marketing material, all that is, white labeled to them as, of course, as well within the system. That there is a monthly fee at $99 a month for that. And there's team accounts, brokers accounts and whatnot, which you can find at Zoodealio.com. However, one of the cool things that we have, and in order to get, 50% off essentially, as an agent, is if you watch, the kind of the backstory in the webinar that Kayla does in that, it gives you a discount code at the end of that, which gives you a 50% discount, 50% discount, for a year. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty cool deal.
And I think, what do you think, Elliot? If they're listening still right now,
let's
just give it to them. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Let's not hold back.
Twist my arm. And now if you put in the code if you are interested, and you want to become a part of Zoodealio, just when you at checkout, enter in the discount code webinar, and it will give you 50% off.
I love it. I love it, you guys. Hey, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. And I know that a lot of people are going to be excited about this. And I know that this is going to really, really impact the industry. And I really appreciate you guys leading the way on this. I know you started this kind of a few years ago, before kind of iBuyers even took off. You and I started talking about this, Elliot, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not interested. But I'll tell you what, it's something that we need, and every agent should have this in their toolbox. I appreciate you guys, and goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.